everybody, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. I really love this beautiful junk journal. It's very rare to get one of these types of antique books in this bright orange. Now this particular book is from the early 1900s. It was inscribed in 1917. This book has seen, this is not mold, but rather from moisture. Or humidity is what I meant. So it's got a bit of buckling, but everything is intact. So I was really pleased with that. This book was originally called Beulah, a very old name. And so I did cover the word Beulah here and added this antique page topper, a chapter page topper called The Land of Storybooks. And underneath it is some vintage tapestry. I love it. My vintage beads here and necklace pieces. Let me take you on a little journey through this book and show you every authentic piece of antique and vintage ephemera in here and all the inserts before I put it in my Etsy shop at hyperstamper.etsy.com, capital H, I know. So let's take a little look together. I've got the original first pages of the book, the original bookstore stamp, which I love, and some 1970s Chantilly lace. That's from the 1900s there. And there's the first page of the book. And here is the inscription here. A Merry Christmas to Lillian. And I think it's from Aravel. I'm not sure. And Christmas 1917. That was a big deal to get a new book. And there is the original first plate. That is Beulah there. Isn't that sweet? And then here is a little 1890s picture here of fruit and vegetables, and then this is a page topper as well from an antique book, Stories Old and New. And then this I love. It is also from the 1890s, and it is that little prayer, "Now I lay me down to sleep," and that's what was left of it, but if you can read all the words, I just think it was very precious. That's from a vintage botanical book, and this is from the 1920s, and these are the translucent collar or transparent collar supporters. That's size 2 3/4. So that's what they would have put in to make the collars nice and stiff for women and men. I put a little secret journaling spot up there and some vintage applique here from a beautiful table doily. This is from the 1800s, it was like a humongous book, so that is leather there. You can see the embossed design on there. It's really quite stunning. Another little secret spot there. And this is an original plate, also from the 1890s. It's very delicate, so you can see I'm holding it very careful, but you could actually use it. And it is all mounted on top of a vintage birdwatchers page. This here is from the 1890s as well. This is a guard's watch dial. So the night guards would put this into a dial that they wore like a watch, and it would clock their hours and when they could sleep. So this here is a front page of an old book, and this is an old book inside cover here with the original image on there with flowers. This is a very old plate as well that I turn into a journaling card. And then this is a really cool, whoopsie, magazine page here. Look at how fun, look at this hat. It's so cool. And this would be a lace collar and applique here. So trim that you can do on the sewing machine. Look at how great that is. And crochet collars. Is that great? I love it. I love how skinny the waists were. Well, I don't love it, but it's interesting how skinny the waists were. What they must have done to get that crazy size this big. This is really cool. This is from an antique stamp collector's book, and we've got these 2 French stamps still on their original hinges, and this one down here. So I think it's really cool. French. Very swell. And I love this page topper here from an antique book, Enthusiasm in Women. Interior spine. Here is a fun Dr. Dolittle cover that I turn into a tag. And this is a 1940s theater arts magazine again. Is that cool? All the different schools of music and drama. And then this is a 1930s children's book page here. Whoop. Sorry, a little bit of glue stuck there. Uh-oh. This is me rushing to take a video. I don't wait for the glue to dry. Here is some vintage Monopoly money that you could do collages with, and a really cool vintage card. Very different kind of numbering. And this came from an antique book here, the Hemispheres. This is a double hand typed research paper. and it's dated 1889. And there's a staple there, keep it all together. Another Stories and People topper here. This is from 1935. And look at this handsome fella. This is Jack. Look at Jack. I've actually had this for a long time. I kind of have a crush on 1935 Jack. Look at him. He's jacked. That's very cool. I love it. That's from 1927 there. And another, I need a vacation. Here is a little 1940s children's book page here about elephants, journaling paper on the back. And this was the first page of chapter 1 of this book, Beulah. Just a really fun little pancake man. The dog chasing pancake man and the bear. Oh my goodness. 1950s recipe book. And this is the spine from the Raggedy Ann journal book that I did this week. And there's more to come on that. This is a 1930s bookkeeping book page. And this is from the 60s. Come to the party. This was brand new in the package. It had never been opened. So I really like it. I think it's very cool, but you can have fun with that. It's original envelope. And see, this here is very cool. This was inside the spine underneath the construction piece, and it's backwards. So, because it was pushed into the spine. So I love it. It's got the floral images on there. I just think that's really cool. It's not very often you see that. This is a full music portfolio for the Little Red Fox. Nya, 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 can't catch me. I'm fit to be tied. So that's pretty cool. Very fun piece. That is the original construction spine piece there from this book. This is a little floating pocket here. So that's from the 1800s. This is a vintage piece here that I added antique paper to the back on, so you can journal there. And you can journal in the back here. That is from the Riches book that I've recently turned into a journal. And you can journal here as well. So lots of journaling space there. Another 1950s recipe book page. A vintage ledger page. So I've left that alone so you could do your journaling on here and here as well. That's an antique paper page. 1950s doily page. This came from the inside of an antique book. It's the library. Oh, sorry, I'm on camera. The library card that I love. And when I tore the book apart, that got saved. Thank goodness. And a 1904 plate. Look at that beautiful English countryside scene there of all the cottages. That's from the 40s here. And then this is a really cool postcard from 1940s as well. Just really cool. A little poem on there. And over here, I've just made a little booklet out of my antique paper cutoffs. More journaling space there. Made in crocheted pocket here. This is from the early 1900s. This is from the 1940s and 1940s as well. A vintage dictionary page, 1950s receipt. That is from the 40s. And then this is really pretty. Look at this waterfall image here. And that is from the Paris France Almanac from 1936. Isn't that lovely? Really quite special. And that is wartime, so that's a very cool historic piece. This is a beautiful plate from the book Rosamond from the 1800s. Look at these two big muff, little muff, so sweet. I pulled this out of an 1800s book there. This is a plate from the Hogarth 1850s book. That is the engraving plate. Love this work. This is vintage here as well. Antique paper in the back. And then this is just a Bobbsey Twin flip page from the 50s. Another English countryside. That is Christchurch there. And another fun dictionary page with some great images on it, front and back. Vintage notebook paper. And then the last page of the book is another wonderful children's storybook page from the 40s. And that's it. I hope you love it as much as I loved making it. It's very special. So go to hyperstamper.etsy.com and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you soon.